What's up, guys? Welcome to the Chess Giant. This is Solomon Riddell, and today we're going to be going over a game by Viswanathan Anand, the former world champion and chess legend who has been a pioneer for chess development. In this game, he played against Levon Aronian, who is one of the best players in the world, and I was amazed by how Anand played with aggression and precision, aggressively going after Aronian's king. I hope you guys enjoy it. Here Anand was playing with the black pieces, so let's just hop right in. We see d4, d5, c4, c6, here Anand going for the slaw defense, knight f3, knight f6. This is all very standard. Knight c3, both sides just developing their pieces. e6, e3, and here Anand plays knight Bd7. Now here Anand could have took the pawn on c4, but this would allow the bishop to come right into the game. So instead, after e3, what Anand does is he moves the knight to d7, allows the bishop to move first, and then takes the pawn on c4, gaining in tempo. We see bishop takes c4 and b5, an aggressive move, expanding the pawn on the queen side and attacking the bishop on c4. We see bishop d3, bishop d6, both sides castle here. Queen c2 is played, bishop b7, a3. a3 looks to protect this b4 square. Rook c8, a nice move from Anand, aiming the rook towards the queen. In chess, you never know when things are going to break open, and it's always good to have a rook pointed towards a king or queen. And here Aronian plays knight g5. Now, I'm pretty sure in this position, almost everyone, including myself, would immediately, without even thinking about it, play h6. We see that this pawn on h7 is being attacked. So let's just play h6, kicking the knight back to e4, play a move like bishop to e7, and we're just playing chess, right? And this is totally fine. But after knight g5, Anand doesn't seem too concerned about his pawn on h7, but instead plays c5. Now, this gives up a pawn on h7, but what it does is that makes this bishop extremely active, not to mention this rook. So the game continues with knight takes h7, which is the best move in the position. And here Anand plays knight g4, another aggressive move. Now black is threatening the h2 pawn, so here Aronian played f4, limiting the scope of the bishop on d6. And here we see c takes d4, e takes d4, and here Anand finds a crazy looking move, bishop c5. And in this position, Aronian played bishop e2, which is the best move in the position. But let's just take a look at what happens if white takes this bishop on c5. If d takes c5, here Anand could play knight takes c5. Here we see that Anand is down a full piece, but this position is very uncomfortable for white due to the activity of the black pieces. This knight on g4 is very active, the knight on c5 is active, both the queen and rook are active here, the bishop is extremely active as well. And if white plays this position perfectly, with knight takes f8, here we see that Anand can play queen d4 check, which really there's not much white can do from stopping this move from happening. Here the game can continue with king h1, knight takes d3, h3 is more or less forced here, creating some breathing room for the king on h2. We see knight d f2 check, and after taking the knight, and knight takes f2, king h2, and snatching the knight on f8. Here we see that there's even material, but let's just compare the pieces, right? This knight on f2 is much more active than the knight on c3, which can't even move because of the rook pinning it, right? This queen is much more centralized and active than the queen on c2. This bishop on b7 is extremely active, piercing down on the g2 pawn, whereas this bishop on c1 isn't really doing much. I mean, its scope is limited to b2 and f4, and it goes without saying that this rook on c8 is a much better rook than this rook hiding on the a1 square. So after bishop c5, Aronian was wise to avoid taking this bishop and instead played bishop e2, the best move in the position. And here Anand finds another amazing move, knight d e5. Now, when I first saw this game, I was wondering, what the heck? Can't white take the knight or take the bishop? Well, neither of these actually work. Let's go over taking the knight first. So after f takes e5, This would allow black to play queen takes d4 check, and after king h1, the very nice mate in 2 with queen g1 check, and after rook takes g1, knight f2 would be checkmate. So f takes e5 results in a checkmate, and if d takes c5, here Anand can continue with queen d4 check, and after king h1, knight f2 check, forcing rook takes f2. And after queen takes f2, we see that this bishop is about to come in and play bishop takes g2 check, and there's not much white can do from stopping this. So after knight de5, we see bishop takes g4, taking out the knight, and Anand just continues with bishop takes d4 check, and after king h1, knight takes g4. And here Aronian snatches up the rook on f8. Now in this position, I think it's pretty obvious to see that black would like to play queen h4, right? We're about to win the game, taking on h2, and there's not much white can do from stopping this except for one move, and that move is queen h7 check, forcing the queens to come off the board, right? And Anand doesn't want to allow this, so after knight takes f8, we see the very nice move f5. After f5, this doesn't allow the queen to come to h7. So in this position, Aronian sees that his knight's attacked, and he sees that the queen wants to come to h4, so he plays knight g6, bringing the knight back and also protecting this h4 square. And here Anand just plays queen f6, a patient move, attacking the knight. And the game continues with h3, and now we see queen takes g6. Now notice, white actually can't even take the knight here because queen h6 and the game's over, right? So after queen takes g6, here Aronian played queen e2, and now queen h5, a nice move, threatening queen takes h3 checkmate. This pawn can't take because of the bishop on b7, pinning the pawn, right? So here we see queen d3, and here Anand found a very nice move in which Aronian resigned the game. If you'd like, you can pause the video and see if you can find it. And the nice move Anand played here was bishop e3. The point of queen d3 is to protect this h3 pawn. So Anand stops this with bishop e3, and there's not much white can do from stopping queen takes h3 check now without giving up all his pieces. So here Aronian resigned. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Anand was extremely aggressive and played at a high level, finding some amazing moves. Let me know what you guys thought of this game and what other chess-related content you'd like to see on this channel. Thanks for watching today's video. If you'd like to watch another one, you can click or tap up here. And I've got a lot more high-quality chess content on the way. So if you'd like to subscribe, you can click or tap down here. I really appreciate your support.